Soviet Union. Let freedom ring there, and now, not later. Not when it's convenient for Moscow and Mr. Gorbachev, that as soon as possible. One person who unfortunately is not with us here today is the President of Baltic American occupied territories in the Soviet Union. I'm going to invite to the microphone now one of the Vice Presidents of the Baltic American Freedom League, Mr. Ted Lilienstein, who will address you about why we are here today.
In March, I was asked to make an impromptu speech of a kind, so here goes. Let us remember that on the eve of World War II, specifically October 31, 1939, Soviet Foreign Commissar Molotov declared at the extra meeting of the Supreme Soviet in Moscow that they recognize and they are still in force the peace treaties of 1921 and 1920 signed by the Soviet Russia and the Baltic states. Any views to the contrary, he said, are those marks of provocateurs, which divided the Baltic states and Eastern Europe into spheres of non-aggression. And they were in fact null and void from the moment they were signed. Infamous day of August 23, 1939, when Nazi Germany signed peace protocols with Soviet Russia. The one treaty that they have kept to this day. Thank you.
I wish I could invite the Lithuanian folk dance group to perform.
And is known as the oldest dance of Lithuania.
Who have taken the time and trouble to come here today to support this most worthy and just cause. And this is truly a very just cause, although I am sad to say that justice to this day is not being served. A great injustice, in fact, continues to be perpetrated and continued against the Baltic peoples by the government of the United States in not recognizing the freely elected and independence-minded governments of the three. Commitment to the Baltic states, which the United States has maintained for the last 50 years. And we do not want this issue to be allowed to die. And that is why we are here today, and that is why we appreciate all of you people showing up to express your voice and to practice the principles that we are granted as American citizens under the Constitution. We want our government to do the same, to help the freedom aspirations of the Estonians, Latvians, and Lithuanians. Contrary to what many people think, since the summit meeting, the situation has not eased up in the Baltic states. I'd like to see that now that the United States and the Soviet Union seem to be allies, and there's new found allegiance with the U.S. Congress and to push during the summit meeting. Groups in the United States, and we're very happy to see that there are so many of you here. It's demands regarding restoration of Baltic independence. We should not grant the Soviets most favored nation status or any of the other. Thank you all very much for listening and for your support.
The Baltic community is their national rights and liberty. At this point, I'd like to turn.
Good afternoon. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to see that so many people turn out for this occasion. I don't know if this microphone's working. I guess I gotta speak a little closer. We Ukrainians and our Estonian, Latvian, Lithuanian and Armenian friends and other captive nations have endured untold sufferings at the hands of the oppressive communist system, many tortured and killed. Even now, with all the reforms that have been taking place, Lithuania has had its bold proclamation of independence blocked by the Soviet regime. The Stalin Hitler Pact of 1939 will never be repeated.
Dear brothers and sisters, many of us suffer occupation and repression in our recent, just like you, in our recent history. Your feeling of helplessness, it is suffering that binds us together.
On behalf of the those people who cannot speak, he is making a statement saying that people will not be a tool in some madman's power game.
I would like to say 2 words as the president of the Coordinating Center, National Democratic Movement. Its name is Democracy and Independence. This organization was founded last year in Paris, and this year, 1 month ago, we have a big conference in Prague, where the host was Czech President Václav Havel. We understand, we know that there is no fight for Lithuania, for Latvia, for Armenia, for Ukraine. Your fight is our fight, and this opinion make us together, and we know that we have to coordinate our action for a future, for a big success, for reaching our big goal, freedom and independence.
A focused program that will pressure the Bush administration to modify its present course regarding Baltic states. The Baltic American Freedom League has worked since its inception to ensure that restoration of Baltic independence remained a foreign policy objective of the U.S. government. We do not intend at this point to allow the Bush administration to abandon that commitment.